Greetings. Here are ideas and information intended to help you navigate the minefield of life's many problems that I have gained through a self-realization process known as advanced perception. Through advanced perception, we learn that we are not getting working answers to our problems because we're asking the wrong questions. So if you have an open mind and understand that you have absolutely nothing to lose, here it is. But this is not free. It requires that you pay attention. Ever hear the saying, there's safety in numbers? What if the exact opposite was true? Hello, this is Ernest. Welcome. The old saying that there's safety in numbers can be absolutely true, depending on the context. Let's say, for example, you have two tribes of Stone Age people. One tribe numbers about 500. The other tribe, 3,000. Now, for whatever reason, it could be a lack of food, water, or some other resource, or just aggression. The tribe of 500 is moving into the territory of the tribe of 3,000. They know there is another tribe already in that territory, but they don't know how many. And apparently, unfortunately for them, they don't seem to care. Well, it isn't long until the other tribe discovers the interlobing tribe of 500, and they decide to wipe them out, which is exactly what they do. So yes, in a scenario like that, safety in numbers definitely applies, but it absolutely does not apply in most scenarios today, especially the personal. The most important thing you can do to help assure, remember, there are still no 100% guarantees, your survival and potential happiness, you must unplug from the tribe, which means you must unplug from the tribe consciousness. Because until you unplug from the tribe consciousness, even if you're not physically with the tribe, you are still connected to the tribe. That is your limitation. The frontiers that you believe are completely open are still actually your prison. Because until you understand that, you cannot have a different path. And consequently, any path you start on will eventually lead back to the tribe, which of course is self-defeating. In order to successfully separate from the tribe requires a thought process element of advanced perception, which I call deflectionism. One of the best ways I can describe deflectionism is that it is a learned defensive psychological process which counters the effects of negative spiritual and psychological metamorphosis. And for illustrative purposes, the best way to describe that in turn is the metaphoric process of a grasshopper. Grasshoppers, in and of themselves, really don't do very much harm to humans. Matter of fact, even though they consume a fair bit of plant matter, they are far more beneficial to the ecosystem, which of course includes humans, than any negative impact. But this equation changes radically when they metamorphically become locusts. For those of you who don't know this, massive clouds of locusts can absolutely destroy fields of various crops, stripping them bare in only a matter of hours, which of course in turn can trigger mass starvation of not only humans, but many other animal species as well. Seriously bad news. So, what triggers that metamorphic process? Short answer, numbers. And, in the shortest terms possible, the exact same negative process happens with humans. This is one of the primary reasons why masses of people can seemingly lose their minds in an instant and turn violent. Not necessarily because they are collectively suffering from anything, but because there is a trigger mechanism from population alone. And it doesn't take very much to activate that trigger mechanism. And once that happens, you usually see a domino effect of chaos, disorder, and quite often death. Now, I'm going to say something that may sound quite shocking, but hey, that's why you're here, because you have the courage to hear reality, not what's comfortable. So just please hear me out. I totally understand this may seem completely counterintuitive to what the vast majority of us, particularly in the industrialized West, have been conditioned to believe. That we have been endlessly taught the mantra that humans are social creatures. That is simply not true. Because if for any reason alone that broad statement fails to identify which humans is it relating to. True humans, or higher humans if you will, tend to be much more solitary. So a social, get together for them might be around, 10 people total. That's because, simply put, they can't stand to be around low human vibration or essence. What basically happens is the greater the number of people together at one time for various reasons, including drugs and alcohol, the lower the quality of the essence. Or, to put it another way, all locusts at core are grasshoppers, but not all grasshoppers are locusts. So now that I've explained all that, hopefully it will make what I'm, about to say concerning deflectionism much easier to understand. Let's say that you intuitively understand that you're one of those higher vibrational humans I've been talking about. And as a consequence, big, mega, loud social events simply aren't your thing. You would actually prefer having a root canal than going to one of those events. I just wanted to take a moment to introduce the Earnest Mann Show tote bag, which the crappy pictures from my crappy camera don't do justice. But you can check it out on my website via the link in the description. It's a large quality bag going for a very reasonable donation. Thank you. Now, you may have a friend or family member that absolutely insists that you go with them to such an event, and for whatever reason, you can't get out of it. But never fear, deflectionism is here. Imagine you're getting out of a car and it's pouring down rain, and on top of that, the place you need to get to is not close. Not close at all. In fact, it's very far away from you. But no problem. You have a very large, very high quality umbrella. So hardly a drop of the damn rain is going to get on you. So you get out of the car, put up that umbrella, and begin your journey. That umbrella would be deflectionism. By learning the ability to use deflectionism, you will learn certain psychological processes that dramatically, if not entirely, negate the negative effects of the low vibrational waves coming from the huge low vibrational crowds you happen to be in. Especially nice when you don't really even want to be there. Just like so many other things in life, deflectionism is certainly something better to have and not need than something you need and don't have. Well, that's all I've got for today, but I will absolutely pick up from where I left off in part 2 as soon as time or demand allows. I really hope you found this helpful or interesting. And if you want to know more or have any questions at all, you can reach out to me via my website link in the description below. And if you really want to give me a compliment, telling a friend about the show would be the best compliment you could ever give me. Until next time, this is Ernest, and I usually always am